The song's taking me away.
Sing on, sing on,
Huh?
sing on.
No. Let's allow this. Oh, Sonny Nneji, please don't do this. I've already let the cat out of the bag.
He belongs to the, I think he's a choir master in his
Ah,
church or something. So
no. I just
he
love music.
sings.
I just love music. But it's
That's
not
why
about.
you're in the choir.
But I'm not. No, I'm not in the choir because I love musical.
Oh, so
I'm
why?
in the choir for a completely different thing.
Okay, what is
It's a
it?
call. It's a mandate.
Ah.
You know the same way people are called to preach.
Okay,
I'm in the
you are
choir because
called.
it's a calling.
Okay, all
That's why I'm
right.
in the choir.
I stand corrected.
But our artist of the week would have to tell us why he's singing. Is it a calling or is it a business? I rest.
And our artist of the week is a veteran singer. I mean, no Max. I'm sure you know who he is.
Yeah.
Who made his entrance into the Nigerian music scene in the late 80s, and he has several hit songs to his credit, including Mr. Fantastic. Yes, you guessed right. Tolo Tolo, and of course, Oroka, which became like a wedding anthem at some point. I mean, you had to play that song at every wedding. Well, after a hiatus from the music scene, he has returned with a new song, Together We Will Beat It. No marks for guessing what it is. It is, of course, the coronavirus. It's my pleasure to welcome Sonny Nneji.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Hello,
I don't know how
aeroplane
to
turner.
greet. If I should say how are you handling the lockdown, I don't know if that is appropriate.
No, we should be the one asking you that.
Okay, we're doing the best we can in this situation that we find ourselves. We're trying to uh, be as creative as we can so we don't lose our minds. We're also trying to, in the process, encourage everyone out there to understand how serious the problem we find ourselves in right now is. Some people still think it's far away. It's not far away at all. It's here with us. I tell you, people are getting infected on a daily basis, and people are dying. So we really need to take it seriously.
Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Mr. Nneji, I like your new look. You're looking quite nice. You're aging
Thank you very much.
gracefully.
Thank you.
So what made you decide to look this way? What made you choose this new look?
You mean I didn't get your question? Did you say
I mean,
what made me decide
the
to do
new
the song?
look, the new look. You know, the bed and
Oh,
all
my
that.
new look. Okay. You know, at some point in time, I used to carry dreadlocks, and then I cut it off after a while. So I've been thinking, okay, what should I do to my face now? You know, this gray beard coming. I said, okay, let me see how I can wear it beautifully. So that's what I'm trying to do now.
Sonny, you're kidding. It's because you know that women like salt and pepper.
I didn't say that though. You're the one bringing that up now. I just said the gray is coming. I thought of how to wear it beautifully.
Now tell us, you have come out with a new song, and it's called Together We Will Beat It. I don't think we had the pleasure of listening to that one. What do the lyrics say? How are we going to beat it?
Well, we are going to beat it if we stand together, if we all cooperate, if we all take the responsibility of being responsible. Because you see, if you catch this virus, it's not just you that's in danger. Yeah, it is you, it is your family, it's your friends, it's the entire society that's in danger. So we need to wake up to that responsibility. And the instructions are really very straightforward and they're very few. And there are things we can do. I know that some of us we have this habit of always touching our eyes, touching our nose, shaking hands. I know some habits are very difficult to die. But you see, it's very critical at this point in time.
When you say it's very critical and we will beat it together, uh, how do we do it together?
We'll do it by cooperating. We'll do it by following simple instructions. We'll do it by trying to change old habits. We'll do it by basically observing some good hygiene habits. That is how we're going to do it. That is together. Of course, I know that the World Health Organization, I know that the doctors, I know that scientists are out there looking for a cure for this virus. But we, on our own part, we need to do what is necessary to help make sure that we do not transmit, curb the transmission of this disease. And that's what I think I'm trying to say in that song, so that everybody gets the message to know that we have our own parts to play. As much as they're looking for a cure or they're looking for a vaccine, we have a part to play to make sure we curb the transmission of the disease.
Sonny, you do know that we are a hugging people. I mean, back in the village, for instance, you're walking, when you arrive in the village, it's hugs everywhere, from grandma to mother to auntie to children. It's hugs everywhere. Now, but you're saying we need to change our mannerisms. That would be a tough one, because it's as though we dwell on hugs. We dwell on handshakes. We dwell on that closeness.
We're touching.
Yeah, someone said we're touching people. So how do you think that will work?
I agree with you. It's going to be tough, but look at it this way. You know, we used to look for love, but understand we have a situation right now. A hug can kill you. So if you look at it that way, it help you.
Have Sonny Nneji with us, and we're talking about where his new song, Together We Will Beat It. But let's leave Together Beating It to why Sonny Nneji decided to leave us for a while. Sonny, you left the music industry. You went like a hiatus. You left us. And suddenly you're back telling us we will work together. So tell us, where have you been? Sonny, tell us, what have you been doing with yourself since you left us for a while? You went into like a hiatus, and now you come back to tell us we'll beat it together. Where have you been and what have you been doing?
Well, I've been working in the background. I've been developing a few things, but we've been making music all the same. I've been trying to rebrand and re-strategize and refocus. I've been doing a whole lot of things. You know, I've been on a spiritual journey. I've been trying to look at my messages again. What should I be singing about now? I've been doing some searching. But everything is working together, and I'm sure by the time we are ready to come out, you'll see the difference.
Now, what about your acting career?
Okay, that every now and then I move into it. If a script comes and I have the time and I like the storyline, yes. But you will not call me like a professional actor. I'm still a professional musician. You know, we're planning something before the COVID-19 came, and you know, this is a disruptor. But we know that somehow, by God's grace, we'll come out of this. I was working towards a concert sometime in October called Timeless Music Africa. And then the COVID-19 came in that it has disrupted a few things. We just hope that we'll be able to put things back together again before that time.
We're hoping that we will get some relief from COVID before October, right? That's the hope, right?
Yes, we hope so.
Okay.
Permit me to dig a little deeper. Yes, you've been working on some things behind the scenes, but I like the bit about the spiritual journey. Can you talk to us about that? What exactly were you looking for? What did you find?
Well, there comes a time, I believe, in one's life when you want to look beyond your immediate environment. You begin to take another look at the world, and you begin to appreciate the things that have always been here. You begin to appreciate them. We begin to wonder more about them: the sun, the moon, the stars, the air we breathe, the universe, humanity, every living thing, big or small, the ones you can see, the ones you can't even see. You understand? You begin to ask a lot of questions. If you're a Christian, you begin to look into the Word of God and begin to search things you've heard preached. Sometimes you begin to challenge them. So you start on your own search to discover these things for yourself. You do not leave it at where, okay, this is where you were told A is this, B is this, C is that. No, you want to ask further. Why is A this? Why is B this? That's the kind of journey I've been on, trying to find out things, chart a course for myself beyond what I've been, what I've learned. I'm trying to learn now with a one-on-one experience.
You haven't told us what you found.
Well, I'm still on the journey, and as it goes, you'll be hearing it in my music. I'll be bringing the messages to you in my song, in my songs, in my art. You'll be hearing them reflected in everything I do.
Okay, Sonny. Now, how do you think this whole pandemic thing is going to affect your industry? Or is it affecting?
In fact, as you know, everything is shut down, not just my industry. Every other aspect of life is shut down. Okay, let me talk specifically about my industry. Clubs are shut down, concert venues are shut down, no birthday parties. So every large gathering is shut down. And you know, most times, because of the kind of work we do, we require an audience to perform. And that isn't happening now. And we do not know, even after the lockdown, how long it will take for people to feel confident enough to come out and socialize, come out and gather to watch concerts and all that. So it's really very, very devastating. You know, we just hope, I'm just praying and hoping that we find a cure quickly, or we find a vaccine quickly, so that our lives can return back to normal. My industry is a huge employer of labor. Imagine how many people will probably be out of work because of this. Before the shutdown, before the pandemic, lots of people had concerts planned. You know, some people had tours planned, and all those had to be canceled, you know, because of this. So it's really affecting my industry. We just hope that we can get back our lives very, very quickly.
Okay, while you said you're doing a bit of a reflection, and the concert you're planning, timeless music you call it. What was the plan? Is it going to feature some of your old works?
Well, the idea behind timeless is supposed to feature artists that we consider to be making timeless music all over Africa. And this is actually supposed to challenge and encourage everybody else, especially those who are just coming into the industry, to up their game. You know, and we wanted to provide a platform like no other platform. That if you performed on that platform, yes, people will look at you and say, yes, you're actually making timeless music. That is the whole idea, to challenge the industry all over Africa.
Okay, talking about timeless, yes, some of your songs, for instance, Oruka, Face Me, I Face You, where you featured Rhymzo, you had Tolo Tolo, you had some...
Mr. Fantastic.
Mr. Fantastic. Are you thinking of reworking or reproducing some of those songs?
You know, some classics are better left untouched. In fact, you go and touch it, you might end up demystifying it. You know, you just leave them as classic. You do the songs, you can perform them. When you're performing, you can how you can change the arrangement. But to go into the studio and say you want to remake like Uruka, for instance, I think it might be a demystification. Any other artist who wants to do a cover of Uruka can do it. Yeah, it's all right. But for me to go into the studio and say I want to remix Uruka, I think it will just demystify the song. It's a great song as it is.
Yeah, for that song.
Thank you.
Sonny, are you there? What gave you the idea for Uruka?
Well, it was when I was getting married, I was actually looking for a song to dance to, and there was none at the time. So he occurred that okay, there was a vacuum there, and I could do something about it. So I started thinking along that line, and the inspiration came to record it. That was how it happened.
And since then, it's become a wedding classic. I mean,
Wedding anthem.
Thank you.
but in your life, you've from the early 80s when you hit the music scene, you've had a career that many will say has been, well, for want of a better word, fantastic. You had your highs, you've had your lows, but you've been consistent. What is it that gave you that staying power? And what do you think you can pass on to the next generation?
Well, it's not something I personally think about. It's just that I'm sold to my art, to my music, completely. I believe in it. I believe this is something I was cut out to do. So I do it passionately, and every time I'm working on a new song, it's as if I've never recorded in my life. It's the same passion, the same fire, the same drive, that I apply. So I don't know if that is the reason why, but it's not as if I have a strategy to stay. I have a longevity strategy. No, it's just because I do what I do passionately. Because to me, it is not just business. It is also it is my life. People were created to come into this world to do different things. This is what I was created to come and do. So that's why everything else I do has got to be connected to this. This is like the core of Nneji.
Yeah, before you came on, Neota had told us that his singing was a calling. And the first question he was going to ask you was, is your singing a calling or is it a business? Well, you have answered that question now, haven't you? You forgot to ask him that question.
Well.
He got there.
He got there. But Sonny, again, yes, you're sold out to this. When people think about Cross River State, for instance, they think of names like Yanita Henshaw, and there are not very many who have made an impact in the music scene as much as they have. But you come in there and you're making such great impact. Is there any plan to pull from back there and put on the limelight? Are you working on that?
Yes, I'm hoping so. It's something that I've been dreaming and planning to do for a long time. I'm just hoping for a better or the right atmosphere that would encourage and support this, because this isn't something you can do alone. This is something you want to do with a whole lot of support. I'm trying to see how I can gather that support, harness that support, and do exactly what you just said, because it's something that's been my dream for a while. In fact, the song I just released now, Together We Will Beat It. When I was thinking of when I started working on the song, initially I wanted to feature Rugged Man, and then feature one fantastic group from Cross River State called Okpo Records. But somehow, I don't know what happened. I guess it was fate. Meshua ended of being the person that was featured. But that's what I'm planning to do eventually, because we have some very great, very incredible talents from Cross River State. Yes.
Yeah, Sonny, how would you describe your music? What kind of music do you play?
All right, my music is a little bit eclectic, but predominantly, there's this high life thing about me. So you can say I'm a high life artist, but every now and then you feel that eclectic thing in my sound.
Let's talk about mentorship. You have been in the industry for so long. I'm sure there are lots of young people who look up to you and come up to you for advice, and there will be some whom you have taken under your wing.
Definitely, I mean, there are lots of young artists out there. They engage me every now and then. Some just want me to listen to their sound and tell them what I think. In fact, just day before yesterday, a young guy just sent me his song for like the third time. He sent it the first time and I listened. I asked him, is this what you really want to do? He said, yes. I said, okay, if this is really what you want to do, you have to give it your all. And I'm not thinking you're giving it your all in this song. He said, okay, I'll get back to you. He go back to me a second time and I saw the improvement. I said, okay, I'm sure you can do better. He go back to me day before yesterday, a third time, and it was so beautiful. So yes, of course, we're doing a bit to mentor artists who are willing to be mentored out there.
Okay, Sonny, we'll take another moment. We'll come back again. We're still with you. This time, tell us what the plan is. Because when we look at the music industry in Nigeria, we see so many people wanting to set up their own record labels. They want to be their own bosses because they've been abused one way or the other. What's the way forward? And then what is your plan for the future? Do stay with us in a moment. Classics, you could never do it with the classics. Hello, never.
Well, when he said he was just going to leave the classics alone,
Yeah.
Now I understand.
Okay, Sonny, we're before coming back to you, we're listening to Abose Day, and again, that's another classic, and thank you for what you do. So, but the question I asked you before we ended that break was, we look at the music industry in Nigeria today and we'll find out that a lot of the artists are all setting up their own record labels. They want to be their own bosses. I mean, when you came in, there were just a few record labels, and all of you were grouped either under one or the other, and we could hear quality. What do you think?
Well, times have changed. Like they say, the only constant thing in life is change. So I think people are just adapting to what's happening. The big record companies we used to have those days, the likes of them, Sony Music, Polygram, and the rest of them, they do not have any presence in Nigeria anymore. And artists, young people are making music. They need to vent themselves. They need people to get to hear them. So they'll get that music out one way or the other. And I think that's what's been going on. So they are a creation of the current times. So that is how it is. I know a whole lot of people have been complaining about the quality of what is happening. Music is very subjective, really. So most times I do not like being drawn into the argument of what do you think about what artists are churning out these days? Because truly, like every other art form, it's very, very subjective. What you might feel is not good might be what someone else will give anything for, an arm and a leg for. So that is how art is. So people will just do what they know how to do, the best way they know how to do it. And simply when people tell me, okay, they don't like what they are hearing, I say, if you do not like it, don't buy it. If you don't want to listen to it, don't listen to it. So go for what you like. And I think what the media also needs to do, because that's why it seems as if it's only one pattern or one style of music that is out there. There are lots of artists who are playing some fantastic, incredible music, but they do not get heard because the media keeps playing maybe just some style, some kinds of music from particular artists alone. So if they just give airtime and play all this variety of songs, you discover that there's more in this country than what we are hearing currently. We have some very great talents out there who are not heard at all.
So what's the plan for the future, Sonny, as we close?
Okay, the future, let's hope by God's grace that COVID-19 gets out of our life quickly, and everything else we've been working on, including everything else we're working on right now, will begin to unfold gradually. But I believe it's going to be beautiful.
Okay. I just got prompted to ask you, how's your family? And how are you doing? How are they coping with you and work?
They have to cope. They have no choice. They are stuck with me for life. But they're all doing great. Thank God for them.
Well done,
Thank
Sonny.
you, Sonny. So we wish you all the best and stay safe.
Thank you. And you stay safe too. Everybody stay safe. God bless you all.
Thank you. Bye, Sonny. Have a good weekend. And with Sonny Nneji, we wrap up today's show. We'll bring you a fresh edition next week, except you want to read a few tweets.
No, there are not too many.
Okay.
No, we've read all of them. I
Okay.
think they were too engrossed in the conversation too.
All right, then. So we will see you next week. I am Alero Edu.
And I'm Nell Taigbe. Go and be the best you can be. Please, let's follow the laid down rules. Wash your hands, social distance, wear your mask, and be safe. If you can, stay home unless you must come out. Bye-bye.
Introducing Copper Chef.